My name is Dr. Richard Constable. I'm from St. Paul, U.S. Virgin Islands. I've followed the Lamb since 1989. Throughout the years, I've seen people from each religion bear witness to the fact there's no one, I mean no one, that's able to make it clear. It gives me great pleasure to introduce God in the flesh, Dr. Malachi Z. York.
How come they can't program it till the year 2000? They do have it programmed till the year 2000. The computer? Oh, yes. 2000. See, when they say 2001 Space Odyssey, they're not saying 2000 in the year one. They want to get 1 minute past 2000 in power. Not 2001. You like the movie Close. It went to the year 2000 and flipped back to monkey. In the movie 2001 Space Odyssey. That the man is trying to, he knows that his time to rule is up in the year 2000, which represents a 6,000 year period from the birth of Cain, who was born in the year 4000. He wants to make it in rule to the year 2001 minute. And that's why they're going to meet in the year 2000 on the Sphinx in Egypt to bring in the new world order, that they are in control of everybody. They control the Arabs now. They control South America, Brazil, the Caribbean. The only problem they're having is China. They're having problems with Korea. They're having problems with Japan. They're having problems with Pakistan. And they just took control of Pakistan by ousting the leadership 3 months ago. They've taken China to take over Taiwan in about another 2 months. And when they finish that, they will have rule of the whole world. In any country that oppose them, they inflict a famine.
What would the one?
The one would be 1 minute on January 1st, or should I say December the 31st, the year 2000, at midnight. 1 minute after, they will all be at the base of the pyramid. And if calamities have not eliminated them, then they will have considered themselves having another extension of time for 30 years. See, our prophecies speak of a 30-year period between 1970 and the year 2000. But that's only 30 minutes of the final hour. You need 60 minutes. We can reverse that if we come into consciousness. We have the power to reverse that by our consciousness alone, just by being aware. If not, he comes into power, we become a fanatical cult, they move us out the way, and they rule another 30 years. That's the part of the Bible says they're going to come out to heaven with fire and brimstone, try to climb the mountain and wipe out the Lamb and his host. All right? Anything.
Now, the reason I was saying that they programmed up to 1990. So when I was looking on the board, he drew 39, which is sort of like the way the computer works. You give it on the board. So now you're saying, so when 2000, when you look at the number 2000, you got 3 zeros, you got 2, but you got 6 and 3 zeros behind. So
I want you to finish the thought when there's something in that. Go ahead. I'm 51, I want to listen to thoughts. Go ahead.
So I'm saying, so then when you said that it has to be 2000 and the 1 minute, and then the 1 minute could be symbolic of the
1,000 years.
Right, but
go ahead. See, let me show you what.
Okay.
I think I got where you're going. Thank you. You're looking at this here, 4,000. And that's the birth of Cain, right? Down to the year 1, which they call the birth of Christ, because that's their symbolic birth of Christ, correct? And this is down to year 1, they say Christ was born. Then, we're now at 1,997, right? You had the 4,000 and the 1,997. What do we get, y'all? 5,997. That leaves us how many years before? How many years would make this 2,000? 3. How many years would make this 6,000? 3. So now, what are we missing to have the complete number? Because this is now 6,000. What are we missing on a 7-day creation time? We're missing 1,000 years called a millennium. This is 1,000 years that we're supposed to be in Christ, as they call it, in grace. You follow that? What is grace? Forgiveness. We need to replenish our souls. So when the year 2000 comes in, that one represents the first part of the next 1,000. That's what the Bible says. A day with the Lord is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like one day. That's number one day. We can either have 1,000 years of peace or one day that leads into 1,000 years of abuse. When we reach the year 2000. You follow the pattern? Now, in the computer, they calculate 1,999. You follow that? Which breaks down in binary as 101001. You follow that? If you can see that there, put this up here, this up here, this up here. These are symbolic of the cycles. Because we live in a series of 25,000 years, 25,000 years, 25,000 years, 25,000 years. In other words, this is called an equinox, right? And this is called an epoch, or epoch. Every 50,000 years gives us one sun cycle and one moon cycle. And it's a scientific fact that every 49,000 years and something, the planet shifts. They have figured that out. And when it shifts, the ice age comes in. Calamities come in. You follow that? Catastrophe. And this is the weather problem now. This is what's taking place now. We are now have moved out of moon cycle into the last sun cycle of this 50,000 years. Before that was a moon cycle. With me? Yeah. All right. Now, we have just came into this new cycle, 25,000 years, and we must be re-informed. Our God will send one of the elders who personify in person to bring you up to what is going to happen on a worldwide scale. And he's there to teach you about the cycles. You with me? Now, at this point here, when the 25,000 year cycle is up, and that was on June 6th of 1996, and he has days because it runs from 49,000 to what? 50,000. Now, scientists teach you that every 49,900 and some odd years, the crust of the planet shifts. At one time, dinosaurs were on the planet, and when the crust shifts, they died. The ice caps melt and it floods. These are the events of your Bible, the floods. The Aztecs and all of you will have these written up as the sands came and covered anything. The volcanoes erupted and wiped everything out. Everything shifted and lava pours. We are at one of those points right now where the earth is shifting and the weather is whacked. And the scientists know we have reached that point. You follow that? His part in this is that if you go back into the 25,000 years, he is only in this part of it. He's only in 6,000 years of it. We were way back here, 49,000. This is when Kedman, or Adam as they call him, was born. You follow that? And then and that was during the moon cycle. And then he came into the sun cycle way down here. And now we are gone at the end of our sun cycle. And the world is getting ready to go through a catastrophe. I mean, I don't know the words for it. You follow? That's the weather problem. That's the floods all over the world. That's the hurricanes. That's the earthquakes. That's the diseases. Nature, Mother Nature called Gaia, is getting ready to avenge the planet. Right. It's a replenishment called an epoch. It happens every 50,000 years. Here we are in 1997, because we're doing a calculation of his 6,000 years to rule. But we have 1,000 years after he is gone to get ourselves together. And that 1,000 years can become one day or 1,000 years. In Christship, as Christ. Not with Mary, with Christ, but as Christ. And that's what they were talking about earlier when they spoke about the 144,000. 144,000, no, there will not be any Caucasians in the 144,000. That's not what it says. It says first 144,000 must be raised, and then they'll come back and get everybody from different nations and tribes. There will be some in the final because there were cherubim who helped us in the garden. Right in Genesis, cherubim protected the garden. Some will make it. If they will submit, they will make it. You understand what I'm saying? But they will not be a part of the first 144,000, according to the book of Revelations, now translated so finely. They will be when it says all God's nations. And the thing about it, we are also in every nation on the planet. You find us everywhere also. And where we are, we will reach people. That's what that prophecy is talking about. Go ahead.
So, this is the end of it, really. Okay, I'm focusing about the moon cycle, the sun cycle, and the
Epoch and the race.
right. And I'm going to relate it back to the computer.
Okay.
And with the 2 and the 3 zeros behind.
Right.
So if you break the 2 down and make it 2 1, does that create another? Well,
Go ahead. What you?
it creates another. You know, like okay. Or another door or another cycle, but then with the 3 zeros behind it.
Right, a 2 and 3 zeros. Right.
But to break it down in binary, you would have to make the 2 1 1.
That's right.
Okay, which would be like a, well, in a sense, a balancement.
Well,
And then you got the 3 zeros
correct.
behind it. So
but see, in binary figures, 2,000 will not come out as to look like this.
okay.
You'd have to have this to get 2,000. You have to first establish that the M point in mathematics is 1,000. You follow that? An M point is a reverse, what they refer to in ancient Greek as a reverse W. Ancient Egyptian letter for 2. You follow what I'm saying? I don't want to confuse you. You would not come out like this. You would come out like this, establishing 1, O. Let me make it simple. O, 1, O. Got that? O, O, 1, O, O. 3, O, 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 1, O, O, O. And once I get to 10, then it would be 1, O. You follow that? 1. And then it becomes 1, 1, O, 1, 1, O. This is how you program computers in binary figures. So you got to understand that there is no number 1. There is no such thing as a number 1. Now that's going to sound like I'm really nuts. Let me explain what I mean. Alright? Y'all want me to explain it? Yeah. There's no number 1 because 1 is a subtotal of percentages. See, because you can get 1% of 1, 2% of 2 of 1, 3% of 1, all the way up to 99% of 1. And all that would exist on this side before this figure can even be made. You with me? And in order for you to track the number 1, you have to say 99% of 1 plus 1, right, percent of 2. Otherwise, you can't track the number 1. It has to have, in order for it to be complete, it must have the total of the 99% of itself plus 1% of the figure it is going into. You follow that? So 2 actually becomes what? 2. Number 1. How? H1 equals He. H1 hydrogen equals helium. As helium burns, what does it give off? That's where the math is coming from. The math is coming from the chemical charts, not from the numbers. Because the alchemists were the ones who were the mathematicians. You understand what I'm saying? Can you anybody? Huh? It sounds like Greek, doesn't it? Well, but it's not. It's Arabic, actually. And even the Arabic numbers, these here numbers here, I have it written down. These are Hindu numbers. The original Arabic numbers look like this. And you'll see why. You'll see where geometry fits in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. And 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See it? Did I read it right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 9 would be the verse on the list. You follow what I'm saying? So it's very difficult while in English to really grasp what is happening to us. You know what I'm saying? There has been a concentrated effort on eliminating that part of our nature and that knowledge in our mind that would give us the key to figure this stuff out. They don't want you to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because as we start calibrating what's taking place, first thing the reality is that we're getting ready to come into a cataclysm that's unbelievable. The world's getting ready to go through a major planet shift and mass destruction, which is going to begin with May 5th, 2000. The only reason why it's happening May 5th, 2000 is because May is also midway in the month to make it a total half. Yeah, you're at the 5th month. As you get into the 6th month, you're going into the 7th. So you're at right in the middle when there's going to be a soul alignment of the planets. And the magnetic pull, by all these planets being lined up, is going to start calamity on Earth. And you're going to live to see it. But it's not so long that you won't have this event. You follow? And he knows what's going to happen. He'd like to get out of here, but he can't. He's flying people to Mars. This morning on sightings, have anybody heard it? They're talking about how they now recognize the Titan as a planet. And they're sending up 1,000 names or 1,000,000 names by satellite to Titan so you can be on Titan. They're telling that to them because they're sending 1,000 people. You just are not welcome. You know what I'm saying? They are trying to get out. It's called 3 alternatives. The first alternative was to go beneath the ground with underground cities, and they bumped into Tirus and Dirus and Dewanis, which they only thought were in their folklore, as leprechauns and Ganesh, the elephant face of the Chinese, and they saw these people really existed, where these things came from, and couldn't live with them. The next was genocide, was to inject syphilis into us, and drugs, and alcoholism, and kill us through cancer, and that failed. We overcame heroin. We overcome marijuana. We overcame cigarettes. Alcoholics are still mass addicted. We can kick alcoholism if you give us enough truth. So they have another called alternative 3, and that's getting out of here. You don't send shuttles back and forth to Mars just to see nothing. Every 3 months, there's a new shuttle going up. What is a shuttle? A shuttle is a craft or a cab that's made to shuttle something from one place to another. They are shuttling out the brain team. As I said, when Clinton came into office, he had all young people around him. Now, everybody is old except him. Where are they? They're gone. And the ones with brains they needed, they said committed suicide, or they just died, their brain tumors, and they're on their way up there. Some of the old ones, they need to train the young up there. You understand? They are not playing. They're leaving here. Because they're afraid of that event. An event that the Zoroastrians, the Hopi, the Dogon, the Bible, and all the people on the planet have recorded. That some great catastrophe is coming. Well, you have to be living in the day and time when it's coming. It has happened to us before, and we survived. And we will survive this one. You understand? But we've got to be in mind as well as body. You've got to stop being men and become gods. You've got to be realigned with the universe, back in tune with your ancestors. If not, you're going to die, like the Revelation said. They'll be cast in the lake of fire with the preachers and the false gods and the false Christ. You'll die with him. He calls it wormwood. It has nothing to do with, as y'all talking about earlier, Armageddon. Nowhere in the Bible, please go read, does it say there'll be a battle of Armageddon. They say there'll be a meeting at Armageddon, a specific place, and that already took place. That's when they made the peace agreements with the Arabs. It started the war in 1966. That was the battle of Armageddon taking place right there. When Egypt, which is supposed to be our homeland, got beat by the German Russian colonists of Khazars, who are now calling themselves Jews. It's all over. Most of the things you're looking for has already happened. You know what I'm saying? They're already in place. They're already taking over Jerusalem, trying to reconstruct Satan's temple for Satan to come in. Call it Solomon's temple. The ritual. They're already doing it. You know what? It has nothing to do with you. If you get back in your right frame of mind, it cannot hurt you. They can't. They did everything they can to wipe us out. They cannot hurt you. You understand that? But if you stay in his frame of mind, you become susceptible to all of his tricks. You give him back his music and all that crap, and get your life straight, and they can't bother you. You understand that? You ain't got nothing to fear but fear itself. I know you heard that phrase before. Anything else? Yes.
Can you tell me what it is in the city, or like when we leave from the land and we go back to the city, I get headaches?
Sure I can. These things dry up on you. Sure I can. It looks like this. I can keep on drawing these things. Okay. These are towers. And these things are giving off 800 megs. Right? Of microwaves coming out of the horn and cellular waves of sound coming out. When you turn on the radio now, you hear, then it goes into a station. Understand? If you have a handheld phone, you are pulling these 800 megahertz into the car. When you cut on a record player, what they did years ago is they removed the record players and tape recorders and clocks that you had to cut on and wait to heat up with tubes. You understand? Remember that? Yeah. Now it stays on in the house. You always have some type of unit, whether it's on your toaster or your microwave oven. The number for the time signal there is there to pull in these frequencies in your house. These frequencies in your house are giving you headaches in the side of your face, all around the back of your head, down back behind your ear and behind here. They are damaging nerves in your brain. These nerves are called magnetic particles. They're at the base of your brain, if I can draw a brain correct. Right? You have nerves things like this. The ancient Hindus called them the 12 occult nerves. Right? They're magnetic particles. They are sending, what we call dendrites is the word? Dendrites? Huh? And there's two doctors. I don't need y'all. That's doctors. That's why I stopped. But they sit there all the time. The fool saying the wrong thing. What do you call it? Dendrites. Dendrites. Thank you. And they branch off as like off the end of your nerves. The left, what do you call another thing? Not electrons. Thank you. We doing things here. Y'all leave me no more. Right? But what's happening is they're like fingers at the end of nerves. They're sending impulse to the brain like this. Charges. You follow that? They have managed to damage in our heads all but 3 out of 9. 12 when we were out the body. We are running off 3 magnetic particles. Headphones, blasting music. All these are pulling in overloads. Those overloads happen, and every one of y'all might have had it. And it happened like this. You was minding your business doing something with the computer, you're reading, and you got a sharp pain right here inside your eye. And that's what you did. You went, dead. And in a couple of minutes, it went away. One of those burnt out. This will cut off your psychic powers when they attempt to reactivate your barytheric gland. You will not be able to be back in tune with the others. You're losing it because you're listening to that crazy music. I'm not just talking about hip-hop. They started this in the 70s and the 80s when they brought in the Moog, synthesized music. Not acoustic guitars, electric keyboards. I worked in the studio for years, you don't know that. I worked with some of the top artists out there. And then I watched them do everything electronically and worry about the amount of megahertz and how to use oscillators to get a certain sound. I'm saying, frequencies, go out to the studio. You stay in the studio, for hours, sometimes working on artists, you come out, you have headaches for like 2 days. You don't even know why. You think it's because you spent long hours listening to music, and it wasn't. Because that board, that mixing console with that 48 tracks of channels and those tapes, all this room is full of nothing but frequencies, and it's killing you dead. The phone you carry, put it to your ear, you're bringing any type of magnets around the leg, all this is dangerous. This bothers you. It doesn't bother him because he does not have magnetic particles. It doesn't bother him at all. That's why he takes guitars and adds an extra number on it, turns it to as far as he can, adds a distortion, and then you know what they do? They step back like this, they take their head and start spinning around like this. And when they come out of that there, they go and bump into him like this. Boom! And they start jumping off the stage and landing on each other. You ever seen that? Yeah. Don't tell me you tried. You got to look like you tried it. Don't tell me you tried it. They're doing it for real. It takes them to a form of ecstasy. That loud guitar, a loud noise, and the guy sings, "I'm so so you be listening to these white groups going, what do you say? And or he got like Genesis, he got this high-pitched voice, or Sting, he goes real high, or he goes like this. It's two different worlds, y'all. We vibrate on the bottom, and they vibrate on high frequencies like the flute of Pan, the devil. This is why they try to remove out of us our baritone and bass voices. You see? They don't want us to sing like that. If you check the greatest singers, it's because the president thinks about Kylie Bell, because she goes high, screaming. They give her praise. But Neil Baker will never get as great as Kylie Bell. And we know she is. It's a different kind of singer. Back in the 70s, what they had? Blue Magic, falsetto. Delphonic, falsetto. Stylistics, falsetto. Black Ivory, falsetto. I can keep going. And all our men singing like women in a high-pitched voice. I was back then in the studio working with them. So they never fool me out there. Which is here. This is all planned. Now, Snoop Dogg and a lot of our good brothers, they're part of the plan. They don't even know it. They're helping to get this sound, this noise, and this radicalism, and this screaming and stuff in the air. They're helping do it. You follow? So we got to get to them and make them turn that hip-hop into messages. And that's what we're doing. Anything else? Yes?
Concerning the artificial intelligence chip that MIT has now, that they implant in their hippocampus, are they able to regulate or increase and stimulate the melanin levels in their bodies with that as well?
No. What they're hoping to do with this new chip they have, one thing they can do is they can put a French chip in you and you'll be fluent in French. In other words, you'll be as programmable as a computer because most of the hallucinatory area or the imaginary area from the brain is stimulated by the hippocampus and the brain. So you can imagine vain things there. You know what I'm saying? But again, they're not prepared for neurons. That's what I was trying to do before, neurons. But they're not prepared for the damage that could happen by putting a metal-based object inside of an organ as sensitive as the brain. You can develop clotting on the brain. They're not prepared. That's why they're not popping them in right now. It's a voluntary thing. What you say?
So how does the magnetic particles relate to the pineal gland?
The pineal gland?
Yes.
All right. I can explain it. That's the doctor sitting here and hoping they do a medical class. All right. When the magnetic particles are nerve connecting to all your glands, let's get something straight. A gland. I'm doing it like this to make it easy to see. All right. This is the gland. It sits in a socket of tissue, which they call chakras and all that kind of stuff. And nerve fibers are connecting it, right? That send impulses that activate your heart or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If in the case of the heart, any of these arteries are damaged, you can have a heart attack. In the case of the brain, if any of the arteries are damaged, you can suffer from aneurysm, all right, or stroke. So all these major glands, especially the thyroid gland, definitely work with the pineal gland, right? And the nerve particles are beneath this here. They are the charge centers. that are sending out these charges. You follow that? Yes, as they damage those, they reduce your sensitivity, your nerves. You're not as astute as you were when you was home in Africa. You were born, first of all, in the dark. We were not born in the light. There was no sunlight. They would take the baby inside of a cave, and he was born there, and wasn't brought out into the sun until a certain point where he could look up and see straight to the stars. All that, the sound, our sense of hearing has been deadened, our sense of taste has been deadened, our sense of touch has been deadened. And the funny thing about it, as I explained before, they're lying to me about that because you don't have 5 senses, you only have 1. You have the sense of touch. Because to smell is for particles in the air to touch nerves. To hear is for frequency waves to touch. Yeah, to feel is to feel. To taste is for matter to touch stuff. There's only 1 sense. They're lying already. And that sense is being dead. You know? So yes, it does affect the pineal gland.
Okay, so with the...
And a concentration on off in the pineal gland affects the thyroid gland, which affects the hormones, which is how he's produced so many transsexuals amongst us. But he's also altering our genes that way, intentionally.
So earlier you were speaking about tone and language.
Yes.
And when you, okay, and I guess I go back to from English to Arabic to Arabic.
Okay.
Okay. And English being the lower or
The weaker.
the weaker
Yes.
tone.
But it's a higher frequency, not the lowest.
Okay.
It's on the highest frequency. Right.
So then, would the wallet be?
Let me give you an example. And so we can give a picture of it. Let's go you in English. And me and a group of people or individuals. With me? In Arabic, I put this. Hear the difference? Say you. Now say this. Which one has the vibration? And see, Arabic took it from Nuwapi. Same sound. Kum. You all. You hear that? Here's one. Love. Ishq. Ishq. You hear the difference? As you learn your language, it's going to call for you to use tones that you stopped using, and that calls you to use your brain again. Nawapic is going to help you realign your brain. Because it's the wording of it, the way the language was given to us, it's like the word up. See that? Of English. Nawapic, sheer. You see that? Rahab. Welcome. This is greetings. Rahab. So if I said to you all, I said, Rahab Eleikum. See that? Greetings to you all. Rahab Eleikum. Instead of greetings to you all. Rahab Eleikum. Yeah, where it ends? Eleikum. It's back to music again. And that's how we spoke. We spoke in tones. Now you have names like Robert, Bob, Dennis, Craig. You follow that? But you don't have Amy or Lutunde. You don't have those tones. You don't have Rahman. You know what I'm saying? You don't have Isa. They took the tones out. And they took the tones out. They took the rhythm out. They unaligned us. They turned us off our own station. We got to get back on our station so that we can, because we, as people, our brain waves are 800 megahertz. So we can rise above the frequencies they're sending in. If we stop getting down under there with it. Stop liking what he's putting at you. That's why the commercials are louder than the programs. It's programming. What do they call it? A television program. What is it coming on? What channel? Channeling. All the terminology is right there in front of you, what they're doing in your mind. It's coming on channel 8. What? Oh, this program I'm watching. You see it? If they don't lie to you, they tell you what they're doing to you right in front of you. That's the pact they made in the book of Job. That they will do anything they want to you but kill you. That's why it's called the book of Job. Ain't no such thing as Job. It's Ayub. Job means job. And that's where they start. By not giving us equal opportunity. And that disrupts everything. If I can't get a good job, I can't pay my bills, it leads me into a life of crime. It leads me into, you know, they know that. Now we got to create ways to make sure that we're providing for ourselves. Yes. Oh, definitely.
In the atmosphere now, a lot.
A whole lot.
Some of those vibrations we're getting are vibrations from some of this plant.
Yes, we are. They're flying over, and a lot of them are activated by electrical charges. That's why they go to power plants mostly, and over military bases, because they're working by electricity, and they interfere with our frequencies. Yes, it is.
Okay, let me finish this way.
They make us sick sometimes. When they fly, you can get nauseous. That's real dangerous, yeah.
Okay, another thing, I noticed there is something like some unusual flight patterns.
Okay, the reason why they have these unusual, I thought you were going to say more. The reason why they have these unusual flight patterns because some of these crafts have to avoid frequencies that have been sent to the air. They be flying at the drop. Because this man has what they call grids. Grids, I keep you behind, you know. He's in the planet, right? He has grids of energy across the planet. He has now put up 24,000 satellites that are above us, up in the air, and all of them are sending signals in every direction crisscross. If you don't believe me, go up on top of the roof on a clear night and just stand there and watch, and you'll see little lights going across. Little while later, you say, no, going across this way. You follow that? While he's testing these crafts in lower heights, he sows the clouds. That's why in the morning time you see these crafts sowing all these clouds up so it keeps staying falling. I don't know if you noticed that. As soon as it's clear, they got these crafts flying and these smoke trails, and they keep crisscrossing. Next thing you know, it's cloudy in about 4 or 5 hours. They're doing that because they have activity within our atmosphere that we'll be able to see. So they cloud us out all the time. Yes, indeed. They got this whole planet is covered in a wavelength of frequencies. Again, your brothers can tear them down easily. They be able to shoot, can destroy that with their one craft. It's like a... You will when you see it, though. Yes, I see it, brother. Just a minute. Yes.
It's Thursday night. I'm looking at
Say it again.
Thursday night. I'm looking at the news meeting, right?
Yes.
Every time I look at the 1,000 comets.
What they're saying is that there's at least 1,000 comets coming in this direction, and they're trying to use a craft they call the Aurora to shoot these meteorites and stuff from hitting us. Any of a number of them hit the planet Earth, they can disrupt again. Like they pretended Pluto got hit 2 years ago, and there was really exploding a Pluton bomb on Pluto to change the atmosphere. And when they did that, some of the debris shot off, and it's coming in this direction. And they shoot them out the sky. They have to shatter it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, basically I want to know, could you explain the significance of black holes and because the reason why I asked...
All right, let me do this for a black hole. They're all long. A black hole is what they refer to as a warp in space. If you were to take a piece of rubber and hold it, and grab it from the bottom, and pull down, hold that, and then take a ball and spin it. And as it goes down that hole, increasing speed, that is a black hole. If it's funneled out at the other end, because galaxies are next to each other, those warps that they create at their curves is what's called a black hole. As you go into speed, you go to past the speed of light and past the speed of sound, and you can actually go out and come and change energy into matter and matter into energy, as Einstein mentioned.
Okay, so with that, along with a quasar, then what's explain the thing with the quasar with a black hole? Because I did the
A quasar is like a meteorite that hits a black hole and starts a spiral. And as it comes out, it increases, boom, it can develop into a universe. So as it goes down, it speed, and as the speed gets stronger, it vibrates. When it comes down, it can explode into and start creating another universe. It's that easy.